What's up guys, Wolf here. In today's video, I'm going to showcase the blue screen LMG. I want to talk about this and make this video to make you guys aware, if you did not know, of how strong this gun is. In a group, I would say this is the best weapon to use, or one of the top ones to use in the game. Especially playing solo, there's a lot of utility from this gun. The blue screen has got very high weapon handling, rate of fire, damage, and a powerful utility talent. So I'm going to give you guys a full overview of the gun, the reason why I believe it to be one of the best, and I will also give you some builds that I use when I use the blue screen LMG. Taking a look at it, it's an okay design. I think it's quite nice, nothing fancy. There's no slot here, so I don't think we will get further skins for this exotic LMG. And taking a look at the modifications, as you guys can see, we got reload speed, weapon handling, very good for LMGs, stability, and rate of fire. So high RPM, it's easy to use, and it actually hits very hard. Now, what I will say is, in the current meta of the global modifiers with crit, and also the fact that you can hold other weapons with a shield and you can't use an LMG with a shield, this does take a certain playstyle, but I do recommend you guys give it a try. You know, like when you use a shield with an assault rifle, or like for example the backfire, that shield can go down. Now, when you're using an LMG, you kind of just get beamed immediately. There's no shield to keep the damage from you for a couple seconds. But here's the thing, with the utility of this talent, you can disorientate enemies and disrupt electronics. So it kind of makes up for that. I wanted to mention that because a lot of people kind of disregard LMGs, which I do in some situations as well, because of that fact, the fact that we can hold a shield with other weapons. And also ARs overall are better in this update. But I want to just talk about this, and if you guys use this gun with the builds I'm going to showcase, I promise you it will change your mind. When I play in a group, I primarily use this gun because the utility just outweighs any other gun in the game by a long way. Now, when we look at like damage, DPS tables, I've got my own spreadsheets of damage, sustained, all of that. This gun is kind of middle ground. It's not very high up the list. There's better weapons. Even the Bullet King beats it for sustain and burst, I believe. But that doesn't matter. The utility of this gun far outweighs that gun. And the Bullet King used to be one of my favorite LMGs. I will never use it again because this gun exists. And the utility just makes it, in my opinion, the best gun to use playing in a group by far. Now, solo, there's many options. And obviously, crit is quite king right now. So solo, it's definitely up there. So I would recommend you guys put this on. And let's take a look at how this actually works. So make sure when you get it, now I believe you can get it from farming open world targeted loot LMGs. I don't think it's anything specific to it. Just double check that because the devs really do always change how you pick up these weapons. If you haven't gotten it before, you might have a certain thing you got to do. I think it was part of the rewards track for part of the season back a few months ago or a year ago. So just take a look at that, but you should be able to pick this up from just targeted loot. So damage to armor is the attribute. Disruptor rounds. So there's not really, I know when someone sees this, they will take a look at the writing and be like, oh damn, that's a lot of writing. I kind of want to throw this in the stash and not use it again. Now here's the thing, you don't really have to even pay attention to this. If you want to play with a pulse, and I will showcase a build like that, where you can actually manually proc this. So you can pulse mark targets, use a skill to actually, a non-shield skill, to make use of these stacks and what it states here. But what I generally like to do, especially with like an ongoing directive build, is I will just kill the enemies, because that's the nice thing. When you get your stacks fully, and then when you kill an enemy, it will proc to all the other enemies. So this is actually really, really good. All hostiles within 10 meters for 5 seconds. And the great thing about this is, and this is kind of the main one, so this is up to you. You can manually proc these. So you can pulse, you can disrupt. I like to do this with electronics. If an electronic dog is pushing me on legendary, I'll mark him with the stacks, and then I will quickly pulse him. It disrupts the dog, and it can't push me anymore, and I can kill it. That's quite handy. Pulse, disrupt, and disorient. That's very good. Disorient is when it's kind of like Hunter's Fury, when they go to their knees. The humanoid NPCs, they go to their knees. It stops them from shooting you. It's great utility in a team. And this is why it's so strong. So let me quickly take it from the top. So shooting an enemy marks that enemy, which is this red symbol here. You'll see a bar that will fill up. That kind of corresponds with the stacks. Adds a stack to the edge, so when you shooting an enemy, and adds a stack to the agent up to count of 50. So shooting a marked enemy refreshes the mark and adds stack to the agent. When you deploy a non-shield skill, remove all stacks on agent and all marked targets trigger in effect. So like I was mentioning before, we've got the 10 stack, the 25 up to 25, 26 to 49. I would kind of focus on the disruption and then just focus on killing the enemies, especially in a group. So you pulse, disrupt, and disorient. So all the electronics go down for a couple of seconds. All the humanoid NPCs will go to their knees for a couple of seconds. It's incredible. And you can spam this pretty consistently as long as you'll be able to keep stacking the blue screen. And the nice thing is the mag size is quite large. So 10 meters is quite a distance. Sometimes you might have to kind of decide which enemy you want to kill to kind of disorientate the group of enemies or disrupt the electronic dogs. But in a lot of situations, this is very handy because you can just keep doing it. So that's for 5 seconds. So this effect will trigger immediately if any marked enemy is killed. So very, very powerful. When you fully mark, you kill them, it spreads it across 10 meters for 5 seconds, and you just keep doing that. It's very, very good. Playing solo gets you out of difficult situations, especially using the smoke screen gloves. That's an amazing combination. I recommend it for solo players. But in a group, your teammates will love you for it. And the great thing about this gun is not only will you be being able to have great weapon handling, great rate of fire, the utility from the disruption and the pulse and the disorient, but you'll be able to actually hit quite hard with this gun. I will showcase you guys quickly a little build I kind of made. It's one I haven't posted before. I do use this sometimes. This is great for solo or group play. It's going to be more specifically for group if you're going to be having, you know, quite a lot of reds, which in this case, the build, I have lots of reds. I swapped this blue out for a red as well. I just have it on me right now. So probably all red. I'll go all red, striker, chest piece and backpack, contractor's gloves, and Centurion scabbard. It's an absolute match made in heaven when you use the Centurion scabbard with the blue screen. What I like to do is use the first buff. So when the helmet is see-through, that's going to be the first buff. And if you have the wrong buff on your blue screen, all you need to do is swap to the pistol, then go back. And then it'll quickly change it. And you might have to do that quite often. It depends on how quickly, or how often, or which direction you swap your weapons. But if you use the mouse scroll wheel, or if you're on console, use a button, it'll definitely be a little bit easier for you. Depends on you. So rate of fire plus 20% and 20% weapon damage. So this blue screen gun is not just a utility king, but it's an absolute DPS beast. The amount of damage you can do, like with this build, over 1 million damage to the body and massive RPM. It's just ridiculous. And then secondary mag size, reload speed. We don't really need that because the blue screen has got a big mag and also great reload speed. So this is very, very strong. The Centurions with the blue screen, I want you guys to give it a go. It's a lot of fun and it's very powerful. Striker's 4-piece, quite simple. Every single Striker's attribute is going to be critical hit chance. I have got some crit chance mods. Now, it just depends on you. It doesn't matter. I don't want to reroll some of my pieces because like this is just a showcase setup. I do use this every now and again, but I have got other builds I mainly use it. I just wanted to showcase this because I've been using this build lately and it's actually really powerful. So that's what I've got there, crit damage mod. Contractors have got crit chance, knee pads, crit chance as well. The backpack, I should have crit chance, but like I said, it's on my other builds. So just roll crit chance, put a crit damage mod. I would say no less than 52% crit chance. You can actually have less with this build. It doesn't really rely on crit that much. It's mainly weapon damage here and damaged armor and stuff like that. But try and get your crit chance over 50, I would say. It doesn't matter if you have to use some crit chance mods either. Decoy and Reviver Hive. So this is a great combination. And I think when you're playing in a team, the amount of damage you can do, the utility and the ease of use from this gun, it's just really strong in a group. Like one of my other setups that I've got here, which is, this is actually my main ongoing directive support build for damage. I play this going into Countdown, Legendary missions. It's a simple setup. It's an ongoing directive 4-piece, including the chest. And all you need to do is kill an enemy with a status that has a status effect that's marked. Then you get hollow point ammo, which puts them on the bleed and you do loads of damage. It's great to pair this up with the Carnage LMG as well. That's going to be better for burst damage. But like I said, this is all about utility. And we also get further amplification for using the chest piece. So everything as well is going to be critical hit chance. So all the pieces are going to be critical hit chance with a critical hit damage modification on every piece. Like I said, it depends on you. It doesn't matter as long as your crit chance is pretty decent here. Contractor's gloves, and then Cheska backpack with Vigi. You can use another talent that gives you damage to status affected enemies. I think it's Wicked. It doesn't matter. Vigi is going to be nice because you're going to constantly have that up just to give yourself extra damage. Banshee, Pulse, and Decoy. This is, I Banshee someone, then I kill them. I get the bullets for my gun. And the mag size, 200 bullets of bleed bullets. Great, very nice. And I swap to my Carnage. So this build is so nice. The utility of the status effect, the CC that gets delivered, and the damage is actually quite amazing. And I really recommend using the blue screen, and especially considering how easy this gun is to use. If you're on console, you'll really notice a difference, and I recommend going for this. Another loadout that I like to use, and this is actually one of my sweatiest solo builds. I did post this a while back, many different variations. You actually could use Centurion's holster here. That could be quite powerful as well. But like I mentioned before, the blue screen with the Heartbreaker and the Exodus gloves, the smoke screen gloves, like as I like to call them. When this procs, smoke drops and you actually get your armor back, you can run away. It's great for playing solo or for anyone who's very aggressive. And this build allows you to be aggressive. I've got the full setup on my YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out. It should be linked in the description right now. Just to remind me if I forget to put it on there. It's going to be Heartbreaker 4-piece. And I actually have got protection from Elites mods. So every single piece has a protection from Elites mod. And then all the attributes rolled are going to be critical hit chance. And I'm using the Heartbreaker chest piece. It's quite nice because of it increases the stacks from 50 to 100. So I'm aggressive. I get bonus armor. I survive. So I can tank so much. You can solo legendary missions with this. Great damage from the LMG. Great utility. The fact that you disorientate and disrupt other enemies allows you to stack your Heartbreaker. And then if you do get into trouble, it's just a perfect match. If you do get into trouble, the smoke screen gloves will work. And then you'll be able to get your armor back and then reposition yourself. It's a great combination. Even the Heartbreaker bag is good because we get extra bonus armor stacks, which is nice for survivability. It works well. So this setup is really nice with the Night Watcher mask. Scanner, Pulse, Haste. This is what I was mentioning before. Now this is important because remember when I was talking about when you kill enemies, so when we fully stack, you kill enemies. For those other builds, that's what I recommend doing. But if you guys get into trouble and you can't fully stack it, you want to try and disrupt or disorient, you don't have to have full stacks. All you need to do is mark them for a little bit, couple bullets, or what it states. And then because we're using this mask, it gives us 100% pulse haste for the scanner pulse, which is what procs heart, what you need to use to proc Heartbreaker. And also to proc the blue screen. So very good synergy here. So the pulse will actually come back every like 7 seconds. Don't worry about what it says here. It's around about 7 to 9 seconds. So it's very, very good. And I recommend using this mask with the pulse if you guys don't want to just rely on getting kills. That's the thing with this. You want to have a bit more utility because you're not doing as much damage as like the other builds I showcased prior to this. But hopefully this video kind of gave you guys an overview and you'll be able to see some gameplay of this gun. When I look at this gun and I compare it to other weapons, when I use my solo Heartbreaker build and when I use my ongoing directive, those are the two of my main loadouts. This one and the ongoing directive I showed you earlier. I use the blue screen and that just goes to show. So you know me, I like to use what's very strong. I only really have meta loadouts currently that work really well for me and my team. And the blue screen just is a no-brainer. If we compare it to other things. Now, obviously, it depends on your situation. It's not really a comparison video, but I just wanted to mention, like the Bullet King, I don't use this anymore. I feel like it needs a bit of a buff. There are lots of other like high-end LMGs with other talents that can be really good, perfect flatline, a bunch of stuff like that. But I think the whole point of using the blue screen is because of the way the devs have made it great in the weapon handling aspect, the RPM, and the weapon damage and utility. It just is a top tier gun and you really do need to give it a try to feel the power. And I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but hopefully you did get something from this video. Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Are you going to use the blue screen? You probably already are. If you are, also let me know. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Peace out.